being married 10 years.
Oh
This is
yeah,
special,
shit.
huh?
That's what we're talking about, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like who does that? But I think at that point, you, you don't think about it as much. I think you think about it the first few years, and you're like, oh, okay, it's been 5 years, you know. But then I think after the 5 year mark, it's kind of just like, look, this is my permanent, my permanent,
Residents.
yeah, like my roommate. You're just like, the first days I used to struggle, like, the transition from this is my girlfriend to like this is my wife, right?
Yeah.
That was hard, like calling her my wife. Like you kind of like the first few months, you're like, oh my god, no, my wife, my wife, my wife.
So
So
interestingly, in slang, when you have a girlfriend,
yeah.
we tend to say ma femme,
Hmm.
even if it's just my woman.
All
It's not
right, right.
no. We don't say like with my wife, because in French, ma femme is my wife, but we use ma femme like my woman as well. Or in slang, when we have this reverse slang in France, where we say ma meuf or ma fameux, which is the reverse of the
Oh,
reverse.
I see. The
You
reverse
see?
slang. Oh, that's interesting. We do that in Zim
Yeah.
too. Interesting.
So
Yeah.
we used to, whenever you have a girlfriend, usually you say, yeah, that's you say my wife. So actually, you are always called my wife, wifey.
Oh,
Before
like that.
I used to call her wifey all the time. From yeah, maybe after 6 months, and yeah, listen. So when she became my wife for real,
It
actually it was
was easier.
strange, because now it was like, oh wait, I have a wife for real, like But
Yeah.
yeah, always been used
Kind of
to
hits you a little bit. It kind of hits you, especially if you've been in the game for a little while. Then you're like, you know what? This is now my person. Like this is my wife. And there's this novelty about it. Like you
It's
feel
the
good.
thing is, getting married with somebody early, and getting married with somebody after going through all the ups and downs of relationship after 6 years.
Yeah.
It's You don't feel like, because you keep having your ups and your downs with your person. Sometimes everything is fine, sometimes things go south, sometimes there's a fight, sometimes they're not, like. But you've already kind of mastered that with that person, meaning that sometimes you might like go dark in your thoughts for a day, and then the
Yeah.
next day you don't even remember why you're angry, and then you're like, this is.
I know exactly what you mean. Bro. It's crazy. It's crazy, right? Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, me and my wife, like, we have a really amicable relationship. Like, we're
Mhm,
really cool with each other, right? Like,
mhm.
we're not a couple that like fights. But then, like, sometimes when you do fight, we fight over random shit, which doesn't even. Can I say shit? Sorry. Um,
Yeah, go ahead. YouTube knows. They
my
know.
bad. I don't want to ruin your money, bro.
It's okay. Super chat and sponsors are saving us.
Yeah. Like sometimes you end up just fighting, maybe even about small things, but you don't want to stay angry at that person. You know what I mean? Or you don't want them to be angry at you. So you always find a way to get back to it. But there was a really interesting thing that I heard. I don't know if we just do this in Southern Africa, or other places in Africa do it, or other places in the world they do this. But sometimes you don't apologize verbally. You apologize with like food or something.
Okay.
And you're like, look, like, have you eaten? You know what I mean? And it's a way to just start the conversation, so to speak.
So, interestingly, before my wife, I've probably been with 10 psychos in the row. What?
Okay. Hold up. Before you tell me the story, right? Before you continue your story, if there were 10 cycles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Yeah.
and there's one constant, who's the cycle?
The real question is, actually, the question I asked myself was, wait a minute. We have a saying, right, in Africa that says, if you keep taking the same road, you will always arrive to the village of If I Knew. So
That's a dope quote, man.
at a point, I was like, wait a minute. I'm kind of always dating the same clone. They all look alike. They all have the same story. They all attract me for the same reason. They all have the same issues. They all have the same kind of broken families. And they all end up being a problem. And they all end up making problems out of nothing. But so that's when I was like, you know what, I'm done. And in 2014, I've met more than that. But listen, I had the one that tried to run me over with her car. I had the one that listen, I have too many stories. But at a point, I was just like, you know what? I'm done.
Very cool.
Listen, I was like, I had the most beautiful, the most this, the most that. I was like, listen, I'm done. And
I can't do this anymore.
I was like, I can't do this anymore. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be single until I'm 50. So that's when I said to myself
That didn't happen.
40. At 40, I was 40. And I was like, you know what? I'm 40. I'm going to give myself 10 years of genocide. What the hell is?
My God. What was the longest period you were with one cycle?
3 years, then another 3 years. Yeah.
You are a patient man.
Yeah, I know. It's because it's special. But after the last 7-year run, I was like, you know what? I need a 10-year genocide. I'm gonna go on rampage for 10 years, and when I get 50, I'm just gonna close shop. So I made a list. I was like, I made a list in my head of every person that I saw the last 3-4 years of being faithful, and that I was like, maybe. And I was like, listen, everybody's gonna be victimized. Everybody. And
so you had a hit list, like,
oh, listen, I had an international hit list. Like, I was actually planning to live 1 month in Lisbon, 1 month in another country, and do this like for years. That was my plan.
How hurt were you?
I was hurt. I was seriously hurt. I was not hurt. I was disappointed. I was super disappointed.
Bro, that is mad.
No, listen, crazy story. And at a point, I was just like, you know what? It's Rampage. Like, I'm Godzilla, and like I'm everybody. Everybody's gonna be a victim. Anybody who's not my two best friends are in danger. That's where I was. I was like machine gun mode. And like, so very interestingly, women love to create fights out of nothing. And people like me who are, it's okay, I can speak for both of us. People like me who are very patient. I need God. People like me who are very patient, we tend to try to not go there. But what I realized with some women, especially the type of women I was dating before, was that any age, like, they were the type of people who, because they suffer from what I call the emotional elevator, at a point they need to have a spike of going up so they can go down, 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 and up, 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 up. Like, there's a strange thing where they believe that the oh, come on, cousin. they believe that they believe that the amplitude of the feeling, from feeling well to feeling super down and going back up, this is love. That's what they think.
That's the relationship. That's
for them, it's they feel alive, where they go from 50 to minus 50. For them, this is like I'm feeling something, like, and then when they go from minus 50 to 50, it's a plus 100 for them. And so for them, it's like, oh, I'm so love you, I hate you so much. So as they're going down, 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 they're like, I want to die. They take a shower, like, and then when they go back up, they're like, I've never been so happy.
This is beautiful. This is amazing.
And for you, it's like, what are we doing at minus numbers?
Oh yeah.
Like, we could just stay between, I don't know, between 30 and 40 and navigate there. That's enough for us, right?
Medium. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
but nah, they want to be, and they want to take you there. So the last one, if I can summarize her, first rule of marriage is don't mind females, you will die. Irvin is creating problem with Dali. She's taking notes for Sunday. So if I could summarize the last one, I would say this. We are in high altitude in a plane, and she's like, let's just die together. Let's just jump without a parachute. And you're like, and she's like, that's how much I love you. Let's just dive and die together. That's how much I love you, and that's how much I want, like, our love to be the purest form of love, sacrifice.
I'm highly worried listening to this story.
So you like, yes, I love you so much too. Let's go. And she's like, 1, 2, 3, let's go. And then you just, both of you go, ah! And then she's like, I changed my mind. And then she put up her parachute, and you, ah!
And you're gone.
And you're gone.
She's the other way. She's just like, I'm not doing this crazy shit that I suggested. But
it's those who, they just say stuff and feel stuff in the moment, and the next day they change their mind, and they just go like that. And so they take you to plus 1,000, then they take you to minus 1,000, and when they're back to 1 plus 1,000, they they believe that you should understand and you should be there at time when you're like, no, I'm still hurt from my minus. I'm still hurt from the
The minus 50,
2000,
bro.
the
Like,
2000 minus that we just did, and I'm still at minus 1005, and they're like, oh come on, don't be, and you're like, so I ended up creating a system where I would be like, listen, when there's a fight,
yeah.
I need you to assume the reason why there was a fight. And I'm not gonna come and be the first talking to you if for me it was unfair. You see what I mean? I know she was. To me, I was in this thing where I'm like, you know what? And over the years, I was just like, listen,
Yeah.
for me, when there's a fight, if honestly I believe it's not me who started the fight, or if it's a fight about something random, I would just stay silent until you cry. I could stay silent for 3 days. While I'm silent, I'm going in dark thoughts, right? And I'm just there, I'm not saying nothing, and I'm just letting you know,
Letting it marinate.
I'm just letting you like think about it until you say, I'm sorry, I didn't want it. I was like, and then now you have to take me out of the dark thoughts. So you have to do the extra work. And for me, that was a reason for you to not take me there, because there is Mr. Shada. Me, I'm Edward. Mr. Shada is like Darth Vader. So, and then it became for me my defense system, right? And I knew that, listen, we're gonna fight, no problem. We're gonna fight. It's okay. I'm just gonna stay silent for 3 days. You're gonna just stay there. At a point, you're gonna leave, and I'm just gonna ignore you, and I'm just gonna act like you don't even exist, and I'm gonna be just dark. I'm gonna post dark things, etc., etc. I'm just gonna go in a dark place until you wake up from whatever. And I was like, I got used to it, right?
Yeah.
So 94 I'm like Rambo, just painted my face, have all my weapons, I'm ready for genocide mode. And I meet this first girl, and everything is fine, cool. And then maybe after a month or 3 weeks, I don't know when, we have our first fight. And of course it was about nothing. So I'm like, oh, oh, you don't know. All right, you want to see the devil? Let's go. So
I'm gonna fix you.
I get in my mode because I'm used to it, and I'm like, yeah, you must be like all of them. So I get in dark mode, and after half an hour, usually goes like 1 day, 2 days, hours, who knows? So I'm like, yeah, let's go dark mode and just stay on my thing, watch my TV, and I'm just like, don't worry, it's all good. Tomorrow you'll just leave or whatever, or you're gonna just tell me that you're taking your taxi going back home, and I don't care. And I'm already in that zone because I've been
That's what you
years of that, right?
In the past, yeah.
And she comes to me and she's like, can we talk? And I'm like, oh, what? What is this?
Mind blood.
And
Defense
so she's like,
mechanism taken down.
and she's like, yeah, listen, okay, maybe I didn't express myself well when I said that, but it was about this, and this. And I know I said it wrong for that. So I'm sorry for that. But I didn't like this. And I'm like, yeah, but when I said this was about that. Okay, so I was wrong. Sorry. And I was like, hey.
There you go.
There you go.
Right there. We know how it goes.